the slam dunk contest. Now, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best not to spend this whole time bashing this, but let's take a look at the participants. Mac McClung makes his random appearance yet again, his annual appearance at this point. It's his third straight time. He's won the past two. We saw him beat Jaylen Brown in the finals last year. Andre Jackson Jr., who is a swing player. He plays off the bench and plays in the starting lineup for Milwaukee, I believe. I know he spent a majority of the time in the starting lineup this year. And then obviously Matas Buzelli and Stephon Castle, the two rooks, taking the chance, guys. Now, my prediction, I hate to say it, but I don't see any of these guys hanging around with Mac McClung.
That's why he's here.
It's why he's here.
He's
I'm
the
sorry.
NBA mascot.
He's their dunk contest. Oh shoot, let's just put Mac again. Talk about lazy. You're gonna call up the guy from the G League to do the dunk con. I mean, think about this for a second. I'm sorry, and I don't want to spend time bashing on this because we've already bashed it so much. But the dunk contest is this is your home run derby. This is your big event, right? Some people literally don't watch anything. They only turn the TV on to watch the slam dunk contest. And your highlight player is a G Leaguer. It's like, oh yeah, look at this, the slam dunk contest. Here's a G Leaguer. I just think it's so pathetic. I think it's, Mac, this is nothing against you, right? You're a great dunker, but you are in the G League. You're not an NBA superstar. You are not in the same breath of guys like Dominique, of Vince Carter, of Michael Jordan. I mean, of Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, Dwight Howard. I mean, oh my God, you have some, I mean, Jason Richard, I've mentioned them, and here we are. Derrick Jones Jr. is another one, right? Where it's like, okay, that type of guy, right? He's a dunker in the NBA. He's made a name for himself. 120-20.
He's the original Mac McClung, though. They tried to bring Derrick Jones Jr. out of the G League. What was it? Almost a decade ago now, which he, of course, turned into an NBA player. But his first NBA appearance was in the dunk contest. He was playing with the Northern Arizona Suns. Then he came out in the dunk contest, and that was basically their first Mac McClung run with Derrick Jones Jr. long ago. But of course, he made
so bad
his name in the NBA. It is. It's so ridiculous because you mentioned all the names in the past of the dunk contest. They didn't have to be star names. This is where I'm looking at it going, it doesn't have to be all-stars. It doesn't have to be LeBron James. It doesn't have to be Michael Jordan out there. It just has to be players we know. It literally has to be players, like role players we know. There are plenty of them out there who play within 8-man rotations across the NBA, or 9 or 10 or whatever you want to call it, that we know. I mean, really, the one player that everybody is starting to know at this point in this dunk contest is Stephon Castle. But that's because he played on UConn last year, and that was a popular college team, which that actually has something to do with NBA ratings as well. The college game not really being recognizable every year at this point in time. But Stephon Castle on a recognizable college team last year in UConn comes into the NBA, starts performing in the NBA, kind of, Rising Stars MVP, obviously, last night too. And he's that player that people actually know. But still, he is a rookie. Matas Buzelis, I mean, he's becoming kind of a poster child of All-Star Weekend because they had him in the Rising. Remember last year they had like the G League Ignite Rising Stars out of the G League? What is this obsession with playing G League players at All-Star Weekend? I understand you want to showcase some of these guys, but the whole point of All-Star Weekend is it's the NBA All-Star Weekend. The NBA, not the NBA G League All-Star Weekend. It's not. It's really not. It's for the pageantry of the players who are playing in the 82-game season, not the G League. But ultimately, Buzelis, he was in the Rising Stars last year. He was in the Rising Stars this year, which is fine. He's a rookie. And last year actually had the game-winning shot in the Rising Stars tournament, so I give him that. But now he's in the dunk contest. Buzelis, I look at some of his dunks and I go, he's not. I'm not looking at him as a high flyer. And honestly, like I look at him in terms of the Chicago Bulls rotation, it's not like he plays a ton. So I would say that
probably weighs less than me.
Guys don't really know who he is. People out there don't really know who Buzelis is. And then you go down further, Andre Jackson Jr. I mean, come on, he plays on, I wouldn't say one of the most popular teams in the NBA. I would say it's a team with one of the more popular players in Giannis, which does draw some eyeballs into the Milwaukee Bucks. But that's a player who plays next to Giannis, and people still don't know who he is. I mean, look at LeBron. I mean, I understand he's on the Lakers, one of the more popular teams, but it's like there are random role players on the Lakers everybody knows just because they're getting clowned online because they're on the same team with LeBron. Well, Andre Jackson Jr. can't even get into the conversation even when he's on a team with Giannis. So the players in this tournament, you have two rookies, a guy that really nobody knows, no disrespect to Andre Jackson Jr., and then you have Mac McClung, who, like you said, Rob, this is a G League player. I mean, this is kind of, again, this is the home run derby to the NBA's All-Star Weekend here. This is a big contest. I mean, it's really, you look at the order of the contest, right? Skills challenge, 3-point contest, and what's the third one? What's the really take it all home, put the cherry on top? It is the slam dunk contest. And this is the lineup we're bringing out with Mac McClung. The best player in the dunk contest is going to be a G Leaguer. I mean, it to me, I 100% agree. It's lazy, it's ridiculous, and if you have to bring a player out of the G League to go and be in the dunk contest, why don't you just find guys off the streets? Remember what was the Dunk King years ago? It was on TNT after the playoffs. You had guys like Jordan Kilgannon. You had all these internet dunkers. Why don't you just bring in the internet dunkers? Because that's what Mac McClung is. I mean, he was an internet dunker who went to college with Georgetown. Now he's in the G League, and he's not too terrible of a player. He definitely has some skill out there, but he's specifically at this All-Star weekend to be in the dunk contest. And it really it's really just extremely lazy by the NBA, and it doesn't make any sense that the top guy in the dunk contest is actually somebody who doesn't play in the NBA whatsoever, no NBA minutes, and that just there's too many good players out there. You don't, to me, a lot of guys in the NBA are 6'6" and above. They can dunk the basketball. Do they have to be the most high flying player in the world? No. Do they have to be a player who has the most dunks on the season? No. Let's just get the role players in this contest in which we know and have them go out there and compete, because sometimes you might come up with guys like Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon who really put on a show. Nobody expected them to go out there and do what they did in 2015 and 2016, or Zach LaVine winning in 2015, Zach LaVine winning again in 2016, but a much harder competition against Aaron Gordon, one of the best of all time. That dunk contest, I watched it the other night. NBA has that 24-hour live stream going. Seriously, the most off the chain dunk
It was
contest we've
insane.
ever seen. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that. And the NBA is not going to do it with this lineup. I think maybe potentially, yes, I'll say this too with this lineup. Mac McClung is such a good dunker that we're not even giving any of these other guys a chance. We're not coming in here and saying, oh, Stephon Castle has a chance or Andre Jackson Jr. has a chance. I will say if there's one player who I think could maybe challenge Mac McClung a little bit is Stephon Castle, but it's Mac McClung's tournament to lose. Or again, I'm on this tournament. It's the contest. It's the slam dunk contest. They don't even call it the contest. That's another thing I'm confused about. They just call it slam dunk. Like, what? The 2025 NBA slam dunk contest. Like, put the contest in there, NBA. It makes no sense. Put it in your copyright. But ultimately, you have to pick Mac McClung for this contest because that's why he's here. I mean, that's another issue with this whole contest, is the fact that all these other guys were not even giving a chance to go out there and compete because there's one guy specifically here from the G League to win the whole thing. So why would we think any of these other guys are actually going to go out there and win it? So yeah, give me Mac McClung, third straight year, 3-time dunk champion, and this one should just be a no-brainer. I mean, Franco, you got something else here? Buzelis.
Franco, Andre Jackson Jr.
Give me Andre Jackson Jr. With the fate of the earth on the line. Man, Mac McClung being in this and winning it 3 times in a row is kind of disrespectful towards the NBA, because that's going to be something that's a very respected and something that he's going to be able to hold his name in history of the NBA as a 3-time NBA dunk champion, even though he's only played 1 game in the NBA this season. I was very curious to see what his stats are. He's having a pretty good season right now for the Orlando G League team. He's averaging 17 points a game, but we have JD Davison who's doing the same stuff down in the G League. So the G League getting removed away from being the Celtics flight team during the commercial break. He's doing some good work, but it's just really a shame that the NBA can't draw in big names. Jaylen Brown taking the chance of being a dunk contest competitor last year was a great sign for the NBA, and I thought they were going to be able to turn the corner using that. I think he's a player that could have really brought the slam dunk contest back into popularity, being able to have names that are just recognizable on the back of jerseys. You're going to be able to see them on a given night. Let's say you're watching the Orlando Magic or the Milwaukee Bucks. You're going to see them out on the court for around 15 to 20 minutes. You know that they're going to be able to contribute in other ways, and they're they're very skilled at dunking in game, and you know that they're threats to thrash the paint. I would like to do like a quick, if we wanted to, like see if we could find who we would want in the NBA dunk contest outside of Mac McClung and Andre Jackson Jr. Who would we want to put together for that list? I would love to see like
Javonte Green.
Javonte Green, or even if the NBA wanted to get a little more star-studded, you could. I would always. The NBA has been clamoring to see a Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards compete in the All-Star game, and if it was 10 years ago, I feel like that wouldn't even be a question if Ja Morant or Anthony Edwards would compete in it, because of the fact that the NBA dunk contest was such a sought after thing to be a part of. It was an honor to be invited to be a part of it. And it took a lot of dedication, not just some recreational dunk videos that you posted on Instagram.
Let's also wait. I want to add to this the invitation thing. Why do guys they go, oh well, it's taking away from my practice time. I got to go practice on the dunk contest, and this takes away extra time for me to practice on the game of basketball, or takes away from my stamina and my legs. Get over it. It's the dunk contest. Go out there and dunk. Come up with 10 dunks in your mind. Go out there. You don't even have to practice them. Just come up with them in your mind and go, I'm going to try to execute this. I know I've done this in high school and college and an NBA game before. Go out there and dunk. I mean, seriously, the Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon dunk contest, to me, there weren't that something that sticks out to me about that dunk contest, other than the whole mascot on the hoverboard thing, which is really not that crazy of a thing. There weren't that many what do you call it, like aesthetic ridiculousness, right? Like where guys have to come out with a bunch of random stuff on, or have a bunch of guys lined up somewhere, whatever, practicing whatever. They were pure dunks. They were all pure dunks. I mean, there wasn't a bunch of hoopla surrounding all of their dunks. They were all just pure dunks. Go out there and dunk the ball. That's why this whole thing, I think it used to be a prestigious thing, and now it's, oh, we don't want to do it because we don't want to practice for it. It's like, don't practice for it. Don't practice. Go out there and dunk the ball. Like, guys totally overthink this contest, and it's ridiculous. But yeah, Franco, we were talking about who you wanted in the dunk contest. Maybe I'm just saying, could we get Javonte Green out there? You know what's kind of crazy? Looking at the list of NBA players, there are not like a ton of high flying dunkers out there. Anthony Simons, maybe
Jonathan
he might have been in the
Kuminga.
Kuminga out there. You could say, I mean, yeah,
Malik
there's
Monk.
Benedict Mathurin, I would say. Shaden Sharp.
Yeah.
These guys actually might have been, some of them, in the dunk contest already. But yeah,
Sharp
I mean,
was
just
last year.
looking at some of the names, bring Shaden Sharp back out, because I'm telling you, I mean, he's a tremendous dunker. Miles Bridges, how about him? I know we're probably not going to want to put him on a pedestal, but Miles Bridges out there. Amin Thompson. I mean, come on, he's at All-Star Weekend. He's rising stars. Stephon Castle, he's out there already, of course. But yeah, those are some of the names. Just kind of looking at all the NBA guys right now. PJ Washington, I know he's
No, they have
injured.
they have a whole pool of 360 players that they can pick from. So here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
This is my problem, right? And Seamus, you said this. So before we talk about the All-Star game, I want to say this. Can you name a dunk Mac McClung's done now in the past 2 years that's like, oh my God, wow? Like, no, you can't, right? And so it's like, yes, sure, he's a good dunker, but it's just look at the field he's going against, right? It's like it's all just mediocrity. So it's like, okay, if Mac McClung's doing it right, like fill the pool. If Mac McClung's beating this pool of good dunkers, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. But it's like he's not. And you alluded to in 2016, what made that dunk contest great, right? Was that there were two dunkers going back and forth, right? Like, sure, because really at this point, you gotta look at the dunk contest, and so many dunks have been done, and it's getting a little repetitive, right? So what you need two guys who are getting 50, like back and forth and back. Like, that's what you got to try to do. All right. I know it's a tough task if you're the NBA, right? But you have to at least try to do that. And I'm sorry, but Andre Jackson Jr. and Mac McClung and Matas Buzelli and Stefan Castle, there's no fan engagement there, right? There is, right? Because if you're not a Spurs fan, a Bulls fan, a Mac McClung fan, or a Bucks fan, you really don't care, right? Like at the end of the day, I really don't care about this dunk contest, right? Why should I, right? There is no all-star. There is no like fun. Like it's just bad. It's a bad pool of players. You're wasting, like you're just using Mac McClung to be like, okay, worst case, this guy will be just good enough to have maybe one dunk that gets a 50 and it will be enough. So it's just messy. It's bad. I mean, God, you have a whole pool of 360 players in the NBA, and you're pulling from the G League. I mean, again, that high-rise office in New York is crap in the bed. Let's talk about the NBA All-Star Game, though.
Can I say one more thing on
Of
slam dunk
course.
contest?
Yep.
I think one thing that Seamus alluded to is I missed the showmanship. I think that really added another level to it. And as Justin always said, we always need characters in the NBA. And
Right.
the NBA All-Star Weekend is the best time to display those. And especially during the dunk contest, and you have a superstar who is capable of doing remarkable things. I'm thinking back on Dwight Howard running into a setup prop telephone booth, changing from Clark Kent into Superman, and then trying to dunk from the free throw line. You have Blake Griffin bringing out a whole damn church flyer, saying, "I believe I can fly" as I dunk over Kia. Like, that is the
Gerald Green blowing out the candle, right?
Oh, I watched that last night. That was very
oh
impressive.
my God,
that was crazy.
I
That
mean,
was
like they
insane.
got creative. Oh my God, you're so right. You're so right, Franco. Oh my, and Aaron Gordon bringing out the mask. I mean, odds. What are the odds that somebody jumps over Shaq this year? Because I think that's just the go-to. Oh, I need a creative dunk. Shaq, get out here. It's like, it's so bad. I mean, it is truly, they have reached a new low, I think.
Taco Fall. Aaron Gordon dunked over Taco Fall. Somehow lost the contest after doing that.
Dwayne Wade, he picked the Heat guy. That was rigged. I'm sorry, Dwayne.
Derrick Jones Jr. But I'll say, two other people gave Derrick Jones Jr. a 9. So
yeah,
I don't know what was going on with the judging panel there. But I mean, dunking over Taco Fall. Honestly, I'll say this about the dunk contest. It doesn't even matter who wins. It's about having memorable moments. And your point, Rob, about Mac McClung, I don't care that he won all these dunk contests. We don't actually have a memorable moment from any of the dunk contests he's been in thus far, which is the last two. We don't really have that moment where it's like, whoa, Mac McClung just did this dunk. I mean, one of his best dunks is, like you mentioned, jumping over Shaq. Over Shaq.
Which everyone does. Everyone jumps over Shaq now. It's like, it's stop it. It's ridiculous. We get it.
That's why they made him a judge this year. It'll be Shaq.
They're going to bring him out. I guarantee you someone brings out Shaq. I will put the house down on it.
I mean, we just need memorable moments. It doesn't matter who wins. We need memorable moments from guys who are actually in the NBA. I mean, it's very simple. Like all of what we're talking about, this should be a theme for this live stream. Simple solutions to All-Star Weekend, in which are really just online with the traditional formats in which we've seen in the past. And now it's like, we need to get a random G Leaguer in the dunk contest with these random role players absolutely nobody knows about, even though we have a pool of 400 players to pick from that everybody knows from. And ultimately, just anything else, the tournaments, the Rising Stars and the All-Star game. Stop it, NBA. Stop it. You're not doing. I don't know who Adam Silver is listening to right now, but they should be fired. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not an advocate for anybody being fired, but these people need to be fired. I mean, they're being paid. They're being paid to throw out these ideas, and people hate them.
Yeah.
How are you doing your job?
And Franco, you're so right. Bring a sense of showmanship. Get the fans up, right? Get the arena pumped, right? You saw so many times when that car rolled out, everyone stood up, right? When that mascot started spinning, everyone stood up. When that candle and that cupcake it gets the crowd pumped. And
Oladipo bringing out Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. Oh my.
What about Oladipo singing in 2015? He came out. He was just singing. I mean, that was great. He came out. Or Aaron Gordon came out in a tux in 2016.
Bring back Victor Oladipo in general.
Yeah, I mean, God, it was just. I mean, again, it's they're gotten lazy.